As Alfred Hitchcock turns 120 in 2019, an interesting question might arise. What makes him that great and watchable in the 21st century despite his career as a director spanned from 1920s to 1970s? In this brief video essay homage to my all-time favorite film director, I have collected 12 reasons why Hitchcock is still important and cool. 1. He made an independent low-budget film within the studio system, showing that less is more. 1960s Psycho was made on a fraction of a typical film budget with a crew from Hitchcock's TV series. It was also mostly self-financed. Against all odds, it remains arguably Hitchcock's best-known work, illustrating that personal low-budget projects should not be out of the picture even for those who are already part of the industry. 2. He personalized promotion. Appearing in cameos in his own movies, host segments of his TV shows, and even his own trailers, Hitchcock made himself into a much more recognizable figure than most directors. Nowadays, most of film directors appear somewhere to promote one's projects. 3. He emphasized title design. Hitchcock began as a title designer himself, which later directly influenced his title sequences to be way more important in film structure than just showing who made the movie. 4. He channeled and connected different generations of filmmakers. Despite Hitchcock was active since 1920s and up until 1970s, his movies nearly always looked at least a decade younger, in many aspects. That is because his movies somehow always ended up being inspiration for young filmmakers, such as the French New Wave moguls François Truffaut and Jean-Luc Godard. Hitchcock always took notice of such young filmmakers himself, among his older inspirations, such as German expressionists. 5. He brought trademark style back into discourse, continuously. While nowadays it's common for directors to proudly display their quirks, in 1930s and 1940s Hitchcock was one of the fewer directors who rarely succumbed for producers' demand of rather typed productions. Producer David Selznick, notorious for his tyrannical ways on set, complained that firing Hitchcock midway through production was impossible, as no one knew how to edit his scenes but Hitchcock himself. 6. He stayed consistent in every genre. Hitchcock often ventured out of his comfort zone, suspense thrillers, and made comedies, musicals, true crime dramas, and a lot more. He was still very much recognizable regardless of genre. 7. He brought cinematic language to television. Most TV shows in the 1950s were hastily produced and had clear budgetary issues. Hitchcock used his high-profile movie image to slowly change the situation via Alfred Hitchcock Presents, going as far as appearing in each episode as a sort of seal of approval. 8. He brought horror and thriller back to mainstream. While horror initially became popular as a mainstream genre in the 1930s, by 1950s it was a self-referential and self-parodying niche. In the early 60s, Hitchcock's Psycho and The Birds gradually made horror fashionable and artistic yet again, at least in Hollywood. 9. He never shied back from technical advantages, but was never reliant on such. Hitchcock pioneered some of the commonplace photography and editing techniques, but main focus of his movies were always characters, expertly portrayed by carefully selected actors. 10. He had his way with actors. Despite gaining sort of a reputation as a difficult director and coining a phrase, "actors are cattle," Hitchcock knew his way with actors, always challenging them with something interesting.
Well, the man who knew too much can certainly be put in that category. I play the part of an American doctor. Doris Day is my wife.
11. He was the first to tackle a variety of themes which are essential for modern cinema. One simple example. Hitchcock directed TV episode from 1960, Incident at a Corner. Essentially has the same basic plot as 2012 award-winning and Academy Award nominated Danish film Jagten, The Hunt. Hitchcock filmography is chock full of cases like that, when he was the first one to show something or use something as a plot point. 12. He emphasized the role of director in filmmaking in public consciousness. While he was not alone in that, sharing more than a few traits with fellow classic directors such as Orson Welles, Stanley Kubrick, Ingmar Bergman. Unlike Bergman and Welles, he never had a background in theater. Unlike Welles, he never portrayed major roles in his work. And unlike Kubrick, he worked exceptionally fast and seldom had troubled productions. Hitchcock was unlike any other major director before him, and as of 120 years, he is still unlike anyone else, providing a valuable message that being unique is not always being stubborn and unsympathetic. Be sure to check out another video essay from Quality Content on Hitchcock's works and appearances that are in public domain. Our personal celebration of Alfred Hitchcock's 120 years will continue until December 12th or 13th. Each month at approximately 12th or 13th, maybe both, we will release something Hitchcock related. It might be a review, an essay, something of our own with a vague reference. We have a lot of interchangeable but equally interesting plans on this special event. So subscribe or save the playlist to stay tuned. It should be noted that our celebration of all things Hitchcock will include a very special passion project web series currently in works at PP Studio.